very excited right now to start talking about where the future lies for a lot of the programs and things that this industry is going to have to pursue. Michael Dyment of Nexa Capital, you've worked with us before talking about the NextGen GA Fund, and of course, most recently, the announcement of Jumpstart GA 2020. Really aggressive program. You're on the hook for what, 10,000 units right now for L3?
10,000 units. We ran a very aggressive competition in the supply chain, and we had 5 companies propose volume order deliveries at certain price points with terms and conditions, and we're quite satisfied that we picked a very good vendor with L3 to manufacture these 10,000 units.
Now, we just had a chance to fly their higher end system, the NGT 9000, a couple of weeks back. We're very impressed with what we saw there. There's quite a bit of innovative thinking coming out of L3 right now, so it should be a very good match. Let's talk first about the most recent news, Jumpstart GA 2020. How did that come about? What does the program really mean? And for those of us out in the cheap seats, you're saving us some big bucks, aren't you?
Well, the reason why we decided as a fund to get behind a program such as Jumpstart came about because we had a concern that the delays in customer orders and commitments to proceed with a rule-compliant ADS-B unit were surmountable, basically. The AOPA made it clear that, made their members know that they should hold off on installing equipment until prices reached a certain critical point. And we saw the ability to use some of our capital to fully satisfy AOPA's pricing concern. So right now, an aircraft owner can go to a dealer and expect to see an ADS-B out, rule-compliant, GPS WAS included unit for way under $2,000. Mm-hmm. In fact, the L3 people have put a special on in the show today where if orders are placed, well, I think the way they've characterized it is that the first 1,000 orders will also include free kits. Antennas, installation brackets, cabling, etc., for free.
That's a deal.
It's a heck of a deal, and for a pilot that just wants the basic rule-compliant ADS-B out, I would say do something in the next month. Get to your dealer and get an order placed and get going. Yeah.
Outstanding. All righty. There's no question that this industry is looking at the 2020 mandate with two faces. There's a fair amount of them that are looking and embracing and understanding that NextGen overall means a significant leap forward in the capability in the in-flight environments that we're working in right now. And then there are others that, excuse me, seem to think that 2020 is either going to go away or be delayed. And everybody, and I mean without exception at FAA that we talk to, says, yeah, good luck, not going to happen. You've made an extraordinary investment in this community. You must really believe in GA and BizAv to have taken that kind of, let's call it what it is. It's a leap of faith to support the community in that fashion. I would imagine this had to be a really just bone-breaking decision to make, considering how much is involved and, to be honest, how much flack you've taken for trying to get out in front of this.
Well, it's true. There's been flack. Frankly, we don't really understand why, but I'll come back to that in a minute.
Okay.
I think that what the Jumpstart 2020 program will do is it will give the lowest end of the GA market the encouragement to go out and start equipping. There's no question in our minds at the NextGen GA Fund that the mandate is going to stay. It's going to stick. It's not going to slip. I think for any pilot or aircraft owner that thinks otherwise and who gets caught up in the installation frenzy that's beginning now, he could have his airplane grounded for 2 or 3 years if too many of these people decide they're going to wait. And he'll find if he flies or attempts to take off on January 1st, 2020, and he doesn't have a rule-compliant certified aircraft, he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to be told to go back to take his airplane back around to the flight school or whatever. So it's a serious issue. There are 150,000 aircraft, by our estimation, that will need to be equipped with ADS-B in one form or another between now and the end of the end of the decade. So what that means is you need about 150 aircraft a day, every work day, between now and the end of the decade when the mandate kicks in, that should be upgradable. Mm-hmm. So we've created a pathway now for the first 10,000 low-end, likely single-engine, even kit airplane owner to go out and spend really a de minimis amount of investment to bring his airplane up to full rule compliance. Now, if that doesn't get the market moving, we'll be surprised. So on the issue of why we did it, we felt that if we could remove the AOPA obstacle and encourage the AOPA under our program to basically turn around, drop its requirement that nobody do anything, and encourage now its members to install, then that should begin the rush, basically. And that, I think we're beginning to see that happen even without AOPA's concurrence. I know that our order book has been, for the Jumpstart program, has been very, very active.
Excellent.
And so as a reminder to aircraft owners, we have 10,000 units. Mm-hmm. We don't have 100,000 units. So, hopefully people will respond and we'll see this industry go.
Well, the nice thing is you've actually already spawned competitors, folks with programs that are obviously mirrored to yours. To a certain extent, Jumpstart is exactly what it did. It's gotten people thinking, people acting, and it's interesting that the industry, among the avionics community, the instigators in that, and once again, outside of AEA, which has taken a very proactive role, the associations are standing still.
Certainly, AEA has been very supportive of both Jumpstart and the formation of the NextGen GA Fund. Mm-hmm. And the programs are tied. I can say that when we first contemplated setting up an equipage fund, we did not want to provide financing for borrowers that needed less than $10,000 to upgrade their aircraft. And that had to do with administrative costs of processing loans. So Jumpstart is really quite unique in that we've been able to use our capital to stimulate demand and activity in the very lowest end of the equipage marketplace, dollar-wise I'm talking. And that is going to stimulate other things as well. Now with the Jumpstart now beginning to take hold, we are also seeing activities in the Part 91, Part 135 general aviation arenas. We're providing some limited financing. We made an announcement yesterday about equipping commercial of turbine aircraft with special loan programs through Madison Capital. Excellent. And that's beginning to take hold as well. So I think this show, I'm very encouraged to see how busy it is here, yes, to see all the activity and all the interest. I think this is the watershed moment for next-gen equipage. This is, for this industry, it's a multi-billion-dollar revenue opportunity. The FAA is not going to move the mandate, no, and I would expect to see repair stations all across the United States picking up their pace very dramatically, and we're beginning to see that right now.
The NextGen GA Fund itself, goodness, wish I'd get rid of this cough. What's its status right now? What's it going to take to get that back front and center?
So just as a reminder, the GA Fund, when it's completely stood up, will be a $550 million program of low interest rate loan provisioning for aircraft owners. And the fund depends on two things. It depends on equity capital provided by major industry players, aerospace companies, and it requires federal loan guarantees. Now these loan guarantees have been the problem. The FAA has been very slow and very reluctant to get behind and approve the loan guarantees. So what we've done to encourage that is we've been working very closely with the U.S. Congress to encourage the implementation of more legislation specifically focused on addressing the FAA's reticence on this program. Because it's been 2 years since we applied for the loan guarantees, and there's been little action on the FAA's part. It's not easy for me to explain why there's been reticence, but the U.S. Congress...
I just don't see the downside in following through here. They're the ones pushing the mandate and being recalcitrant in regards to timing. It seems to me that their due diligence requires them to get out of the way of every obstacle that might be placed in the path of the person looking to be compliant when January 1st, 2020 rolls around.
This is the only program outside of Jumpstart that has anything to do with encouraging and facilitating equipage. So it's very, very important that the FAA do this. There is a misperception inside the FAA that aircraft owners have the funding to satisfy the mandate. It's just wrong, and it's more like an excuse not to do something than it is some fact-based analysis that's been done. Largely, the FAA has done no analysis on this program, and one reason why I think Congress is frustrated is that they're viewing the FAA as usurping their authority. So this is going to be quite a showdown in the next few months, and we're looking forward to it.
What are you learning? Excuse me. What are you learning from this process? What are you taking away from everything that's occurred? And most important, I would assume with Jumpstart being what it is and with the reception you've had, that there may be other programs of its ilk in line after this from your folks as well.
Well, we are contemplating doing what we call Jumpstart 2.
Okay.
This is it's a program in the making. If we decide to go ahead with it, it will be probably within the next 60 days. But what we want to do is encourage aircraft owners to equip with ADS-B in. From our standpoint, the benefits to an aircraft owner of having traffic and weather information and other goodies, by the way, importantly fits an FAA mandate to encourage general aviation safety improvements. So with ADS-B in, of course, you need a display. You have to have a certified installation done. But there are many, many ways I've seen that done before. I'm encouraged to see what's going on at this show. A lot of innovative work with respect to ADS-B in. What I'd also like to see is the associations get behind ADS-B in and begin to encourage members to follow that pursuit as well. From the standpoint of encouraging general aviation safety, to me, that's the missing point in the debate today about equipage. So it would definitely require that EAA and AOPA and other organizations begin to endorse and encourage members to go the final step with ADS-B.
The overall industry view from within the avionics community, of course, is, wow, we got a lot of work on our hands at this point. They're looking at the opportunities, they're excited by it, they're specifically excited by the portent that the NextGen GA fund could make this so much more accessible to the pilots involved. And let's face it, the way the fund is structured, it allows you to do an awful lot in regards to improving your aircraft. I've got that in mind when we buy our next airplane later this summer. We'll be talking to you. But it seems to me that there's so much in place here and only a few impediments that just would be a real shame to see any more delay and any more hindrance, I should say, be piled up, kind of just a domino effect here in regards to meeting this mandate. Because right now you look at what the shops can do and what they're capable of, and you talk to the industry, as capable as they are, they're going to have a tough time getting all these airplanes ready.
They'll have a tough time, and we think that based on our research, that about 50,000 aircraft owners will need some form of financial assistance in order to satisfy the mandate. That's 50,000. So if you just keep in mind there are 150,000 aircraft to be done, and about 1 out of every 3 of those aircraft owners will need and very much appreciate financial assistance. And by the way, having that financial assistance early means that not everybody's going to wait until 2019 to try to do something, basically. And we would encourage people to begin to tap these loans and the availability as soon as the FAA approves them.
Okay, well, let's break it down for the folks out in the cheap seats here. First of all, in regards to Jumpstart GA 2020, what are their initial steps in taking advantage of that program?
So for Jumpstart, there is a simple requirement to have your dealer or your repair station make arrangements with either with us directly through our website, which is nextgenfund.com, to fill out a form so that we can go ahead and get the equipment scheduled for delivery to the repair station to be installed in your airplane. So it's really very simple. Even at the show here, we have forms at our booth. People can drop by and pick them up, fill them out, and we can get them, get them in the program right away.
Now, is there anything that can be done at this point in anticipation of the approval of the NextGen GA fund to be ready, to have their paperwork ready to go, to start thinking about the future financing needs that they're going to have to upgrade their airplanes?
Yes, there is a place to go to get registered. I'll use the term registered, but as our funds, our general funds are not yet available, but should be available within perhaps 6 months, then if you go to the AEA website, there's a NextGen button. If you just follow that, you'll see that you can register your information, obviously your name, your email address, and you will be notified as soon as the funding comes available for your program. So that's the simplest thing to do. Now, I will say that we have a couple of bank partners that we work with, and we announced yesterday an acceleration of our lending program for aircraft installations that are more than $50,000.
Okay.
So that's a much smaller number, but nonetheless, these are the more complicated installs, and we're happy to provide financing through our bank partners for those programs.
That's Michael Dyment of Nexa Capital. We sure appreciate your time here with Aero-TV. We'll keep an eye on this, of course. It's a program, since we heard about its inception some time ago, and as we follow through, just makes perfect sense to us. And no matter what the inhibitions people may have about the reality of 2020, there's certainly no downside to being prepared. So we look forward to seeing what it comes up, and wish you well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 58th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B, ATX-100, and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Avidyne provides innovative avionics solutions for general aviation aircraft, including the IFD 540 and IFD 440 FMS GPS navcoms with geofill, hybrid touch, and full ADS-B capability.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, navcom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
HeliSAS from Genesis Aerosystems is the FAA-certified, cost-effective, and reliable stability augmentation system and two-axis autopilot for light to medium helicopters. HeliSAS offers significant safety-enhancing benefits and still weighs less than 12 pounds. Visit www.genesis-aerosystems.com.
interactive Links application is available in the Apple and Android app stores. This free app is a virtual simulation of the Lynx NGT 9000 touchscreen cockpit display that lets pilots interact with the unit as if they had a real system in their hands. The app covers the entire Lynx family of ADS-B products, including features and options to help customers decide which Lynx model is right for their needs.
Meet SAM, the new 2-inch standby attitude module from Mid-Continent Instruments and Avionics. SAM's unique 2-screen display features high-definition graphics and extra-wide viewing angles. Get to know SAM today. Visit flysam.com.
NavWorks makes ADS-B affordable. Certified or experimental, NavWorks gives you high-quality next-gen avionics solutions that dramatically increase your situational awareness. Check us out now on the web at www.navworks.com.
The debate is no longer about upgrading GA aircraft with NextGen, it's about financing it. The NextGen GA Fund is about doing just that. Find out more at www.nextgenfund.com.